Hello and welcome to Vibe It Up, multiple streams of consciousness. Sorry, I had to think about which show I was doing here. We just finished one show. We have a double header today because we are talking about the same subject as we were talking about on multiple streams of wellness. And we have Vesna Matic here with us, who was on the previous show and pretty much needs no introduction because she's been on a couple of our shows with us. And we have Dr. Doug Lehrer, who also probably needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyways, if I can find the darn thing. Try to open it up here. What we're discussing today is we have something amazing that's coming up. It's sort of not really spur of the moment because we've all been doing what we've been doing for a very, very, very long time. But multiple streams of consciousness came about because I grew up with believing that everybody was like I am, and they're not, but so many of the world actually are, and those who aren't are starting to wake up to the fact that we have more psychic abilities than we ever really realized that we had. And what the Mayans were predicting about 2012 is coming to pass, and we have had a lot of stress and anxiety to go through. And have been going through, but the world that we create is the world that we intend. So when we get ourselves into a fabulous state, an emotional state of well-being and intention for these good things, we can actually create the life that we want right here. And one of the things that we're doing is taking people on shamanic journeys so we can open ourselves up and wake ourselves up. Open up our third eyes in ways heretofore not even thought about. For example, we're going to be going to Peru and taking some of you with us if you'd like, so that we can do some medical treatments there, not us personally, but give you the opportunity to speak to well certified, very well trained surgeons and healing practitioners that are already there in South America, equal to the ones here in North America. But first, we're going to talk to you about we're going to introduce Dr. Doug Lehrer to you, who is a master transformational healer, visionary, and innovator of cellular resonance, cell to soul healing. Actually, I think it's soul to cell healing, isn't it? I got it written backwards here. It's a powerful energy medicine system that finds and clears the traumatic stress that gets stuck in your brain and your body and deeply affects and interferes with your health, happiness, relationships, and success. Dr. Doug is the author of the 7 Quantum Healing Secrets. He's a board-certified doctor of chiropractic and board-certified quantum medicine quantum medicine doctor, American Naturopathy Board of Medicine. Dr. Doug is the founder of the Lehrer School of Energy Medicine and Rich in Health Foundation nonprofit that teaches doctors and healing professionals how to heal the stress, the emotions, and the epigenetic generational patterns to activate your brain, your body, and your soul's natural self-healing powers and embody your true self-purpose, prosperity, and love consciousness. Dr. Doug has performed over 500,000 patient healings worldwide. He practices in California. Dr. Doug helps many change-making luminaries, entrepreneurs, professionals of all kinds, whether they be executives, even royalty, athletes, celebrities, actors, producers, directors, writers, parents, children, and teens. So please welcome Dr. Doug Lehrer.
Thank you.
Oh, there you are.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
What we were talking about earlier in the previous show was with Vesna Matic, who is has a master's degree in psychology and has all these pranic healing and all these other energetic modalities under her belt. So between the three of us, we kind of encompass the world of different types of modalities. And the three of us are going to be offering our clientele an opportunity to come with us to go to Peru, climb up and see Machu Picchu, and speak to these energetic doctors and regular, normal medical doctors in South America who, as Vesna has told me, are less expensive, equally as well qualified, and very holistic because they give you the time of day. And Vesna gives you the time of day. I give you the time of day, and Dr. Doug certainly gives you the time of day because we all really, really get to know our clientele or patients, whatever way you want to call them. And so what we're talking about today is multiple streams of consciousness, because one of the things that we are offering when we get to Peru, I keep wanting to say Machu Picchu because that's the big draw for me, is that we have an opportunity to see actual native shamans from Peru who are experienced from being handed down generation to generation the healing modalities of plant medicine, as well as Dr. Doug is going to be offering his quantum healing cell to soul resonance, which he's been doing for what, 35 or 40 years? Doug?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
about
I
that
have.
long. Yeah, and he's worked with me, and look at me. I'm just like bouncing all over the place with energy. And if you knew how old I was, you'd wonder where I'm getting it all from. And I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I've got kids in their 40s, so that's how old I am. In any case, we're planning this trip. So all of you, I've got landing pages created so that you can come and join us when we do our commercials. You can scan the QR codes or click the button and copy down the link, or go to the Facebook group to copy down the links, because we have some amazing gifts for you all about what our journey's about. One of the things I'll be teaching is how to write a book, and not just any book, but the book that will help you promote whatever it is you're passionate about, so that you can make money with your hobbies, with your businesses, your small businesses, so you can make money with those and not sell, right? How do you not sell, right? Everything is selling. From the little kid at 3 years of age saying, Dad, buy me the little red wagon and I'll get out of your hair, right? That's selling. So what I do is I teach people how to write a book so that you aren't really selling, you're serving people and giving them what they really need. And I can do that in a weekend, but it's very intense. So when we go on this 7-day journey, I'm going to take some time during that journey to teach you how to do this so that you can get that going. And if you want to take a 12-week program and really dive just as deep, but go into it on a little slower pace, I have the 5-day challenge coming up. So that'll be one of our commercials too, where you can find that out. We have a gift from Dr. Doug, and we have a wonderful Vesna Matic who's giving us her gift as well. So Doug, I know I'm putting on the spot here because we haven't really talked about what the heck we're doing, but tell us a little bit about the consciousness aspect of your cell to soul resonance therapies.
Yes, certainly, certainly. Well, the path to true healing is the journey from fear to love, from the soul to the cell. So it's about resolving our fear-based consciousness. And we've all come into this third, fourth dimensional world with wounding and with fear-based consciousness. It's just part of our journey as human beings at this time. And we're here to resolve these shadow sides of self, our fears, our intrepidations, and our misconceptions about who we are,
Mm-hmm.
which are all based in a fear-based consciousness. We want to raise up to a love-based consciousness that's a very different level of consciousness that really is where our true gifts and who we are is able to be expressed. And we are basically pure manifestors at that point without having the antithesis of manifestation from our fears.
Wow. Okay. So one of the things that we talked about is that when I'm doing my 5-day challenge, you're going to come on one of the days and help people with their limiting beliefs, their imposter syndrome, that who am I to write a book type of thing. And when we go to South America this winter, you're going to be doing a little bit more about that. So what are the types of things that people have as limiting beliefs that you can actually help them with? That would be something that would be amazing to have happen on our little excursion, our big excursion.
Yeah, well, as an example, I just gonna got back just about 12 hours ago, naturopathic convention, and I was speaking there to a big group of doctors and health practitioners.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a man come up on stage where I demonstrated my cellular resonance soul to cell healing work by doing a real healing on the gentleman. And his problem was he had gut issues. He said his intestinal tract, his whole, just so much pain. This is a big, strong, handsome young man. And he said he just has so much pain in his abdomen. And as we unfolded within a few minutes, because I tap in to the quantum field in his subconscious mind, a belief system, wound, and the wound in his past was a stress that as we unlocked him from it, out of his mouth says, it was gut-wrenching.
Oh, wow. The very words, right? The very
Gut-wrenching.
words.
So I cleared this gut-wrenching stress and emotion, and gut-wrenching is a belief system, and
Yep.
boom, all his gut
I
pain,
wonder where we ever
abdominal
got
pain
that from, right?
that he had
Right?
for years was instantly healed.
Incredible,
So I hope
incredible.
that's a pretty good example of what is in the background for all people, and we don't even
Exactly.
realize. We don't even
And
realize.
we say the words and they're much more true than we ever really realized. We were using them metaphorically and they're actually true. So I'm going to
Right?
introduce Vesna, and we're going to hear what Vesna has to say from a psychologist point of view, because Vesna Matic has an MA in clinical psychology and an LMLP, which is licensed master level psychology. And she's a certified integral health practitioner, which encompasses both the Eastern and Western psychologies and philosophies. The combined education and disciplines have opened the doors to Vesna becoming a transformational counselor, pranic healer, shaman, spiritual director, a reverend, and a certified constellations facilitator. Vesna has developed several pathways for personal therapy that integrate the science of mental health and the dimension of the human spirit to address the full spectrum of the human experience. Vesna has several approaches for therapeutic counseling and provides one-on-one sessions in her office or her home setting for comfort and security. And in an adventurous exploration of multi-level healing, Vesna has taken her diverse spiritual experiences to offer clients international tours to ancient and sacred sites for participation in cultural traditions as a journey guide under her company, Visions for Life. Through ceremonies with shamans of the Amazon rainforest and the Incan traditions, the spiritual masters of Nepal and Bhutan, and the foundational mysticism of ancient Europe, these journeys have sparked deep emotional healing and inspired new and expansive motivation to live life with great purpose and joy for participants who seek the full connection of body, mind, and spirit. So, with Vesna, welcome to the show again. I wanted to ask you, we're going to talk about this term gut wrenching and what your experience might be with helping people in that regard. But I also wanted to mention that a lot of people can't visualize what we're talking about when we tell them to get into an emotional state of abundance. In taking them on a shamanic journey to a place like Peru and introducing them to the cultures of these like thousands of year old um, therapies, like I don't even know what else to call them, with plant medicine and with just the basically magic words that these people say to get the energy from the plants to help us open up our third eye and help us to be more believed, right? We're not to, for us to be believed, but for us to be believing of these techniques. Being right there in the environment is so much better than trying to imagine something that you've never experienced. And then to use the plant medicine on top of that, along with your psychology and now quantum healing and all the weird, crappy, weird stuff that I do on top of it all, to put that in with this environment is just unbelievably powerful. All the transformational from my powerful meditations, for example. So going back to the gut wrenching that Dr. Doug was talking about, what's your experience with your training of that?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we all came down here for wanting to experience certain things that, well,
We
maybe
call them
perhaps,
lessons, right?
well,
But they're
we
not
have,
necessarily lessons.
well, some of them are,
Some of
yes.
them are.
Okay. Some of them are, and I think that there are other things that we just really want to experience. You know,
Mhm.
it may sound kind of silly, but let's say if a person really loves food, okay, and they just love to eat, so maybe that is something that draws them back. You know,
Mhm.
so that's what I mean. It can be a variety of things,
Mhm.
but it's stuff we want to experience. It's interesting, though, that so often we also don't feel we deserve love, which, Dr. Doug, you were talking about, the fear that we're not good enough. And how many times we hear that as children growing up, whether from parents, teachers. siblings, whomever, okay, and that we're just not good enough. And then these themselves can cause a lot of trauma. Not only what people say, but then of course, people are very familiar with things like war, rape, molest, sexual abuse, and then these traumas kind of compound on this, and we feel even more drenched with this. I'm not lovable. I don't deserve it. So with going to Peru and the things that people will experience, hopefully this will be a way of releasing a lot of those things. Many times I tell people that when traveling, it also, not only because you get to experience another culture, another lifestyle, beliefs, but also you get a chance to leave behind, those ideas, those people in your homeland, so to speak, and really let go.
Yeah.
And this is the place, the time to do so.
Absolutely. This is definitely the time and space in our generation, basically, to be doing this. And going to a place as magical as Peru, you take people on shamanic journeys to sacred sites. So the energy is much more elevated. But I'm going to take us to a commercial because we have a lot of gifts that we want to give to our audience here. So I'll say it once and then we'll do this for the rest of the show. Grab your phone. Scan the QR code so that you can download the gift. If you can't do that, take a snapshot of it so that you can go to the link afterwards. And if that doesn't work, you can go to our Facebook group or on YouTube, find this episode and get your gifts. And we'll be right back with multiple streams of consciousness. I'm always surprised by which commercial comes up. My team never tells me what order we're going in. That was my gift. I was hoping it would be Doug's gift because it's basically, this was supposed to be Doug's hour, but I'm going to give you another show, Doug. This is a special, extra special show because we want everyone to have time to get their ticket booked so they can come with us to Peru because it's going to be so magical. And I don't know if Doug knows all that we're going to be doing there. So Vesna, would you tell us a little bit more about what we're going to be doing in Machu Picchu so Doug has a handle on what we're talking about today?
I was on the website earlier. I checked it out.
Doug, I just said, hey, Doug, do you want to participate? And he goes, yep.
So surprise, yes.
Surprise.
But yes,
we've got three amazing healers here, right? So you got to come with us because one of us is going to fix whatever's going on wrong with you guys, right? If it's your destiny and you feel called to do this, you got a good team, a trio here.
Yeah. So with this, yes, with this trip, people will have the opportunity to see some local doctors, physicians, so that whatever medical issues they may have, since the medical care in Peru is also outstanding,
phenomenal, yeah,
more affordable, however, so people will be able to, whether it's, for example, x-rays, MRIs, getting a physical, finding out what's wrong. So all of this will be able to happen. Then we're also going to go to Machu Picchu and go around the Sacred Valley. So for a lot of people, this has been on their bucket list and they keep putting it off. So this is kind of a 2 for 1. They'll have medical issues as well as the opportunity to see Machu Picchu. And then, of course, with all 3 of us being there, the soul, the spiritual side. So, all 3 will be involved in this, mind, body, spirit, and a chance to relax, get away from the hustle and bustle, from wherever a person is coming from, the United States, Canada, somewhere else. But the opportunity to just relax, taste some of the Peruvian foods.
The culture, absolutely.
Yes, the Incas, of course, are the ancestors. And so we will be seeing a lot of the things that the Incas left behind. And so really a mind-opening experience.
And I don't want to name things that we shouldn't be talking about, but this is the land of the condor. Yeah, exactly. So Doug, I know I'm putting you on the spot here a lot, but because of the type of soul resonance that you're doing, how do you see moving, like not moving, but being in another country as being an experience to be cherished so that your clientele can come with us? How can you do your events there with us and make it a better experience than one they could get from here?
Well, it's a whole other energetic there.
Right?
It's a different energy on the planet. And certainly the adventure of leaving our environment and going to a new one to experience ourselves in is a pretty amazing journey in and of itself, let alone in the land of Peru and the Andes. Just amazing energy.
Yeah. Well, we can go down into the valley, we can go up to the mountains, and there's 2 completely different cultures with those 2, as well as the fact that the shamans have available for us to try a variety of different plant medicines, and we've chosen ayahuasca as the opportunity of choice for this particular trip, so that we're not really taking a group of people to have any type of surgery done, but give them the opportunity to speak to the local medical doctors that are there, that are equally trained as well as they are in North America, and see what they have offered for us. Because if there are certain things that we can have done there that would save us a lot of money, we're in a fabulous natural setting where we have fabulous healthy food, healthy environment to heal. And as well, with the 3 of us and the shamans, the mind and the energetic healing that would take place as well. We also have an opportunity to go up into the mountains and do a little bit of sniffling around up there, and go down into the more of the rainforest of the valleys type too as well, right?
Right. Well, where we will be staying at the retreat center, that is up in the mountains. Okay, so will be around 10,000 feet above. Okay, the air is very, very clean, fresh, pristine. On this trip, we are not going to be going to the Amazon rainforest because the Amazon rainforest is a distance. Okay, we're going to be more in the highlands, so to speak. Okay, we will have the opportunity to work, yes, with the local healers. I'm going to see if I can get one healer who also reads coca leaves. And coca leaves are very spiritual plants. It's I would say, comparable to the sage for the Native Americans here in the United States. They use coca leaves for all of their ceremonies, blessings. They drink tea from coca leaves because it helps with oxygenation. Okay, since we're up in the high altitudes. So coca leaves are used for a variety of things. But yes, I will see if we can have one of the healers who will come down from higher elevation, 14,000 feet above, and then he can do a despacho ceremony as well as read some coca leaves. And ayahuasca will be available. to those
Yeah,
who.
nothing's forced upon anybody. It's all like volunteer. Okay, we're going to go to another commercial because I really want to get all these gifts out to everybody. So we'll be right back. Grab your phone and get a copy. See you in a minute. Thank you. And that was Dr. Doug's gift. And discovering how to heal your core wounds is going to be a major topic here on our trip to Peru. Can you tell us a little bit, Doug, about what it is that you can help us with these core wounds? Where do we get the core wounds from? Why do you call them core wounds even? And how is it that you can help with that?
Yeah, well, first of all, we all come into this life with a core wound. It's just part of our challenge. You're having that write a book challenge, and we come with the come to earth challenge,
Okay.
and for the ego to experience aspects of its own fear that runs us. So we all have a core wound, and many of us have a series of wounds, but there's a big one that runs the other ones. So we want to see which wound. So like in that gift, I have a little way to kind of test yourself to see which one it is, because that wound kind of goes everywhere with us. So
Give us an example. What is a core wound so everybody in the audience knows?
Well, everyone should know the one, guilt. All right.
Yeah, guilt, yes.
Guilt.
I shoulda, if I only, I woulda, I coulda.
Woulda, shoulda. And then, of course, if I don't do it, I feel guilty. If I do it, I feel guilty. No matter which direction you go, guilt seems to show up. And that keeps us from expressing the truth, the true divine self that we are, that power and that abundance and that light and beauty that you all are. Wounds get in the way of us being that. And then what they do, that create, what's that word, stress, that is the cause of disease. It puts us into the way that we create stress ourselves.
Yeah, I don't know that we necessarily, stress is a good thing. There's a reason for stress, right? It's how we handle it. If we go, oh my God, and start pulling our hair out, and this is good, bad, and you're bad, blah, 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 right? It aggravates us more. So what you do actually brings that level down and helps us deal with it. Because, the world is limiting, right? We have a body. We are an energetic being. We have a body. So just having a body limits us, because when we're on the other side, we don't have a body and we're free. And what do we all want? We want freedom. We don't want to be told what to do. We don't want to follow the man, right? We want to get out there and do our own thing and have no limitations and on, right? But we get stressed out. So things like what Vesna deals with and what you deal with these core wounds and healing the emotional states that we're in, right? Is that not what we're all talking about here?
Right.
Yeah, we're all nodding our heads.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So I know we just went to a commercial, but my green room is telling me we have another commercial that we want to get to. And I really, really want to have our audience really understand what we're doing here and give them these gifts, because they can read and follow a little bit along in these gifts after, when we're not on the show anymore. So grab your phone and let's play this reel. Even if we play it a second time, the same one again, that's fine. I just want to make sure everybody gets them. So Louie in the green room, Reels up. Hello, hello, hello. It is Vibe It Up, multiple streams of consciousness. And we're here today to talk about, of course, multiple streams of consciousness. And one of those streams is getting your creative side out of you. And we are talking about healing the divine feminine through different modalities to heal your divine feminine. So today I have a very special guest. She's a partner of mine. Her name is Diane Novak, and she's called the Soul Professor. Tell us about your experience.
Well, this is mine, Houses of Light.
Oh, I love that cover.
Yeah, cover is great. And there's 25 other authors in this book.
Maybe we could talk a little bit about healing the divine feminine. Why is that so important?
Healing the divine feminine came from thinking about all the wounds that we carry around with us. And I want to say that healing divine feminine is not necessarily only for females. Males and females have divine feminine and divine masculine. We both have it all.
But I'm impressed because this is the first time I haven't approved of the commercial. I just let my team go to town and I didn't even know what it was going to be. And it was your commercial, Diane. So I loved it. So
it looked good to me.
No, it's pretty exciting. I forgot to tell everybody that are in our audience that they could go on the Facebook group to Multiple Streams of Consciousness, Vibe It Up, and ask us questions. And that would have been great. We could have answered some questions here, but the limiting beliefs that we all have are all about not being good enough or not feeling like we deserve. And the types of work that we're going to be healing and working on when we go to these sacred sites, the energies at these sacred sites are just much more powerful. There's less stress in the environment. Just being on a holiday is less stress. And we're able to deal with some of these things. We can shed some of the layers that are hiding them and deal with, just enjoying ourselves and having other fun people around that have similar problems going on. Right? We're all struggling with the same issues. What we've been through with the pandemic and what's been happening with the world, the entire world, has caused so much anxiety and so much stress. And it's hard to see what the positives could possibly be, what good could come from this. But a lot of things that have happened to us actually did have positive outcomes if we could just stop and look back at them. So going on a trip like this where we can peel back some of these layers and release the negativity is what it's all about. And more than just these pandemic times, because these pandemic times really were what brought out a lot of the traumas from our childhood, things that happened that we don't even necessarily remember, and possibly even from previous lifetimes. Doug, do you feel I'm saying the right, vibe here, or?
Absolutely. We're carrying karmic wounds from other lifetimes. We're carrying the epigenetic or familial patterns of our parents and those before us in our family lineage that passes into us. And boy, all this stuff has come up for people, even if it hasn't been an obvious identification of what it is. We certainly have felt it in angst, anxiety, or whatever your favorite brand of stressing tends to be. Yeah.
I saw, and I don't know the exact quote, but a long time ago I read that there was a very famous quote that every generation feels that the previous generation screwed them up, like our parents ruined us. And that famous quote, who I'm totally paraphrasing, came from Socrates way, way, way back in time. And our generations still feel the same way, that my parents screwed me up, right? Whether we're the millennials or the whatever. And we're all talking about how something that raised us gave us the belief system that they had and tried to force us into that mold. And yet we came in having different things to do, like the parents that say, you need to be a doctor or I won't be proud of you. And the kid doesn't want to be a doctor.
Get unscrewed up.
Yeah, he's like very artistic. He's not the sit down and study math and science kind of guy. He just wants to paint and draw and do artwork, and he's being forced into this mold, or vice versa. A parent who's more artistic that says, oh, I want you in showbiz because I was in showbiz. And the kid says, yeah, but mom, I really want to be a doctor. I like healing people. Right. And so it works both directions. Vesna, do you jump in here? How do you feel about this?
Well, so my teacher, actually, it's called constellations, but I love how he really calls it ancestral intelligence.
Ah.
And so, yes, definitely we kind of learn things from our parents, but our parents learn from their parents. So it is ancestral. It comes all the way down. Without our ancestors, we would not be here. So it's important also, I feel, to be grateful to them, because we have this life because they were there. And so, but of course, all of the traumas that our parents had came from somewhere, which was from their parents. And it's time that we all look at that. I don't think it's about forgiveness, okay, because Bowen, who is the father of constellation, said that, just like when you have a perpetrator and a victim, okay, the perpetrator is up here, the victim is down here, okay? So there's this inequality.
Right.
When we talk about forgiveness, then it's the victim being up here and the perpetrator being down here, which is also not good. It's about recognizing, understanding, and saying, okay, this is what happened. I don't want this anymore. And thank you very much, but goodbye. I'm going to continue. So it is all about this healing process. And so I feel like, being on this, and again, I call it a sacred journey. It's not a trip. That's what this is all about. It's about recognizing, it's about healing, and then carrying on with what we feel is the reason we are here on this earth plane.
I think a lot of it is that we came into experience, limitation, and that we need to play both parts of the chessboard, right? And if we came in and remembered who we actually are, that we are the source, that if we knew that, we wouldn't be able to have this ability to make choices. We've been given free will. In order to have free will, we had to have our mind erased that we are source energy, and there's no good nor any bad. It's our perspective of it. So the guy that comes in to perpetrate something that we call negative, and the guy that comes in to have the experience facilitated to him, we call the victim. They're equal, really, right? They're equal, and they both need to have the experience. You can't just have an experience of being a victim if there isn't a bad guy to give you that experience. But maybe you came in to be the bad guy, right? To be the bully or the murderer or whatever. And you need to have that experience too. So from outside of this, we sit and we say, oh, that's really so bad. This person got raped or they got whatever. And we look at it as such a bad thing and shake our finger at the guy that perpetrated it. But that's what his experience was to have. That's his soul's experience. And on this level, you have to then say, thank you for giving me the experience. Thank you for facilitating it from both sides. And we aren't taught that. We aren't taught that growing up. We aren't taught that in school. We aren't taught that in religion. We're not taught that anywhere, except perhaps that we're told to turn the other cheek in some religions. But that's about as close as we get to it. But through these experiences with a facilitator like yourself or like Doug or any type of NLP or whatever, theta healing like I do, those types of things do give you that experience of the forgiveness, which brings us back to a 0 point. So we're not up or down, right? We're now at a level playing field.
Well, and so, 2 points for me. Number one, I think that all of us have been the bad guy and the good guy. We switch these roles, so we've been pretty much everything, and also as far as the church, I had the great fortune, I guess, I don't know, of being raised Catholic, and the church is definitely, boy, they have that guilt thing down. It's when something
not just the Catholics, there's all of them do it.
Yeah, well, I can definitely speak for the Catholics big time. It's that when something happens, you have to be able to forgive. And It's like they don't really give a person the opportunity to process stuff, which is imperative.
Exactly. The processing is the part that we all help people with.
Right. So going through that process is, like I said, is imperative. And then that whole forgiveness thing, I'm going to go back to what I said, it's about, okay, then just release.
Exactly. Okay, so we're going to go to another commercial break here, and then I want to give Doug his say on that very same topic. So can we just have another commercial, and we'll come back, grab your phone, scan it, take your link, click it, it's clickable. Welcome back to Vibe It Up, Multiple Streams of Consciousness. We're definitely going to have another show because we've got less than 10 minutes left here. But I want to give Dr. Doug his say about this processing of the emotions. Let's have your rebuttal or your agreement.
Well, always an addition.
Okay.
In the book that I'm working on now and to get published has a forgiveness process in it, and I kind of in the book go, well, it's really about there's it's a fairly hefty forgiveness process, but the main thing is that we have to forgive from the soul to the cell. We have to forgive at an energetic level that resonates the negativity, the wounding, right out of ourselves. The wounding is all memory. And so we have to get that memory off of our cells so the cells stop reacting to the unforgiveness. So I call it the unforgiveness process.
That's a good point.
It's like, what are you not willing to forgive? Why can't you forgive them? There's a big clue. That's part of the book. This is huge. And it's like, because I have a lot of people who go like, I already forgave, or I'm never going to forgive that son of a gun. And it's like, all right, well, why? And so those reasons, those are the things that are making you sick.
Exactly.
That's
and
right.
I don't even know. We all say, well, be the bigger person and come forward first and, initiate. I don't know.
Well, this is what.
I don't know if it's all about that necessarily. I think it's what we said before, that it is a process. We all come in, like from astrology. I've been doing astrology for 5 decades, and I can see all these problems, these things that we want to get rid of. I can see them all in the charts, and we have free will. Why do we have free will? Right? Because we can say, I'm done. I've had enough now. But because we're conditioned to react instead of, I don't know what the other word could be, but to go with the flow and move along with it, instead of doing that, we have this negative reaction of tensing up and being more stressed by it and getting more into the negative behaviors instead of walking through it. We can choose to do that. And somewhere along the way from caveman to today, we've lost our natural ability to do it. So we need some of these experiences to help us facilitate the releasing of these emotions, the integrating into our systems and saying, hey, it's okay that I feel this way, and I don't have to continue to feel the negative aspects of it, correct?
Right.
And so we facilitate from cell to soul healing, from a psychological, Freudian or Jungian, which I believe in, point of view, from theta healing, from astrology, from hypnosis, from a lot of different methodologies. They're all just different aspects, seeing things from different sides, and they all do something to help us process these different types of emotions, correct? And we're going to be doing some of that on our trip.
Right. And a lot of people, think they have forgiven, so it's in the past. But again, it really wasn't
Sell
sincere,
your soul memory.
and it's still in the cell memory, and so it's still
Yeah.
causing physical problems, emotional problems, mental distress, and
Well, you know how they say, like, it's like riding a bike and you
but I
never.
want to add to.
I was just going to say, you know how it's like riding a bike, and you ride a bike as a kid and then you don't ride for a while. And then somebody says, hey, let's go for a bike ride around Stanley Park or something. And you decide, let's go for a bike ride. And you get on the bike and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can balance. And the next thing you know, you're just doing it like you always have. The memory is still there on how to balance and how to do it. It's the exact same thing with emotions that we hold within us. They're still inside of us. And we just need some little thing to trigger us, and boom, we're right back there where dad was scolding us, or somebody put us down, or somebody was in a hurry and didn't realize what their words meant to us. And we're right back there in that childhood being hurt thing.
Well, and working with a whole variety of issues and ages. It's amazing to me, right now I work pretty extensively, very extensively, with adults who have substance abuse issues and trauma. And when talking with the men, the difficulties, the issues that they have in being able to express their feelings, and to me, and that's one of the things I always talk about, is that's what we as human beings are. We are our feelings, and it's something to embrace and be grateful for. Because if we didn't have the feelings, what's the alternative? It would be like the zombies that, people watch horror movies and, they just see these zombies walking around. That's what we would be like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
just automatons.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, we've covered an awful lot here. We've only got a couple of minutes left, so we're going to have to bring this all back around again. I do have another guest at some point I'm hoping to get on our show who does a different type of healing and involving plant medicine as well, more along the magic mushroom style. And I'm hoping to get that person on our show. Hint, hint to the condor. And maybe Vesna can help me with that one to bring him on. So let's tie this all up here. When we, what's the one thing that you guys can come up with and say that will bring the biggest and most attention to why people should join us on this journey? My thing is I want to help people to write a book and get this out of them, from inside of them. And in writing, it's like a journal, but it's the type of journal that will actually bring you prosperity to teach you how to write that book. What's your guys' opinion? I keep saying guys, but guys and gals.
Yeah, well, to unlock that, that one or two things that really have been in your way from being all that you truly are, your true success, your true health, your true happiness, and really to really be on and aligned with your purpose for being in this body, for being in this life. What are you really here for? I know most people have some areas of lostness, not that disconnection. And so to become more connected.
So to help you get on purpose.
More connected to your purpose, your heart, and let go of things that really that don't serve you anymore. And just remember, forgiveness is not about the other person. It's a personalized process.
Yeah.
It's something that you're doing within you. Forgive means to let go. So it is really the journey to let go of what
I love that.
doesn't work for you anymore, because it's making you healthy, stressed.
I love that. So
anxious and less
forgiveness
successful.
is forgiving, like to give. I love that. So Vesna, can you bring it on home for us?
I really want people to be able to experience.
Well, you got the body, mind, and soul thing going, because you've got the surgical team and you've got the shamans.
Right.
You got the whole thing going on.
Yeah, and to really experience, for me also, one of the most one important thing I would say is, I love taking people around the world so that they can see this, and the fact that we all have one home, which is the earth. We need to take care of the earth. And by people, let's say, going to Peru, seeing the people, the culture. You mentioned the condor. There is a cross in Peru, and you have three levels. You have the underground, the underworld, which is the serpent, the world that we're in, the physical, which is the puma, and the condor, which is the higher level.
Yeah.
Okay. And all three are connected. They're all important. And that is what this trip and all of the ones that I do is all about. It's connecting all three of those layers.
That's amazing. Okay, we're going to go to another commercial, and then we're going to tie the whole thing up at the end. So, Louis, if you can give us our final commercial, I want everyone to grab their phones and either scan the QR code or click on the link so that we can get you some more information. We have so many gifts for you. Go to the Facebook group, because just the gifts that we have for you on this TV show are amazing, but we have more gifts for you with the other shows. You want them all. We'll be right back. All right, so we are back with multiple streams of income with Dr. Doug Lehrer and Vesna Matic, a psychologist that has been. Vesna, you've been working with trauma, and tell us what you do in Arizona. You've been working with.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch.
I said you've been working in Arizona with people. Tell us more about what you do there. You work with them on a psychological level, and you help them with a drug addiction and what else? Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I work with people on for so many things. Yeah, substance abuse, addiction, trauma, people who really feel kind of lost, and that they don't know their passion, or it's really kind of deep down inside. So I also help people discovering their true passion in life. It's about reconnecting with the soul. Okay. And kind of living the best life possible for me.
Oh, I love that. Okay, Doug, tie it up together. What's your basis of who you help?
Oh, people who truly want to transform and heal at the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels, connect to their divine self, and really make the past just not our story anymore, that we are now the empowered being, knowing who we are, and really super healthy. I mean, there's not a person that doesn't have some sort of health issues, because the mind interferes with our body's functions. And there hasn't been a condition, I haven't been able to figure out somebody's deal what it's called, that's called. So whether it's a chronic illness that you think is, like a lot of people think Lyme is the spirochete. No, it's your mind suppressing your immune system that allowed your body to get sick. So we need to resolve that. And when we do, then the body has the power to heal just about anything. When it's stress induced, that's where my talent and ability lies. in that trauma, in that negativity, in the patterns of the wounded ego mind. That's, and that affects everybody, no matter who you are, where you are, what category of person you might think you are. We all have these things, and and it's time for all of us, everyone, to step up to the next level and the next. And I basically, the people who are ready to go to the next level, I'm here to help them.
That's awesome. I love that. Okay, so
And got to raise it. Here to love.
yeah, really, we are. We're here to love. We're here to forgive. We're here to pass on positive feelings, right? We're here to facilitate and experience what we came here to experience. But at some point, we get to say, I've had enough, right? And what we've been through for the past several years, we've listened to a lot of media. We've heard stories out there that you got to do this and you got to do that, and this is going to kill you and that'll kill you. Everything will kill you, right? Too much sun will kill you. Sun's a good thing. Too much of anything is going to kill you. If I can have, healthy water, too much water will kill you. It's called drowning, right? It's healthy for you. So, I mean, you can't have too much of anything. You need balance. And so we need balance in body, in mind, and in spirit, right? And what we're proposing to do with our trip is to get that for us. And although we work on a mental and a physical and a spiritual level, there's something about having the fulfillment of what we do in our life. And because I'm an energy worker and a business person, and we all need some business in order to get our wares out there, we're all facilitating something in our own business. And this show is all about helping people in business. What we're doing is I'm teaching how to build, how to write a book so that the book helps you build your business. And we're using the facilitation of these, I'm not good enough to write a book, or who the heck am I to write a book? Or I don't know what I'm doing. How am I going to do this? And like, I don't want to be on camera, and shrinking, right? We get you over all of that so you can get out there and do the thing that you came here to do. Because if you're drawn to this show, if you're drawn to either one of these two amazing healers, you're drawn to us for a reason. If you're watching us right now, you're watching us because something called you to come to this. And we have such an important message. And a lot of what's going on out there, the reason I've got these shows put together is so that you have choices. So there's something else out here that's been here for 5,000, how many thousands more years, that's been available to us. And somehow it's gotten lost. And so what my whole idea is to bring us all together in a place where Vesna can take us, where it's calm and peaceful, and life is still going on, right? The bathtub's still going to overflow, and somebody's still going to tick you off and make you angry about something, and the dog might still bark and wake you up at 2 a.m, or a snake might bite you. Like, all these things might happen, but you can't go through life worrying about what might be or what could have been or should have been. Live now, because now is gone, and now the next now. And then that now is gone, and now the next now, right? Live right now and give the love out to others. Give what you came here to do, whatever your talents are, whatever your, the things that you find are so easy. And someone says, oh, you should do that for a living. That's awesome. I don't know how to do that. You should do that. And you go, why should I do that? I mean, everybody can do that, right? No, there's so many people out there that can't do the things that you find are easy. Those are talents for you. And you could be doing that for a living, and just stay a couple of steps ahead of people that are out there that are so freaking busy. They don't have time to find out this information. And the internet is a fabulous place to research and learn about things, but who's got time? You come along and you've already got this. Somebody's quite happy with either time or money, right? If they've got the time, they can Google it and go figure it out and learn how to do what you did. Or they don't have the time, pay a little bit of money, and you give it to them nicely wrapped in this beautiful package called a shamanic journey, called quantum healing, cell to soul resonance, called whatever it is that I'm doing, right? Write a book and have it market for you, right? Put these all together and you've got a beautiful package, and you can heal on so many different levels. So this is kind of what we've done. We put this all together. We've got other experts that are going to be coming on this show that we might integrate into some of our journeys. What do you want, right? Go on the Facebook group, write us questions. We're going to be here for you. If you have a question for Dr. Doug, or you have a question for Vesna or for Dr. Lexis, ask. We're here and we will answer those questions. If not directly in the Facebook group, we'll come on and do another show. In fact, if we answer a question that you bring to us, I'm sure there's going to be special gifts for you. Any last words from either of you? I keep putting you on the spot, I know.
Hope to see you, the public out there, come along on this journey. It will be definitely life-changing. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is just the beginning. Vesna's been doing this for a while. This is just the beginning. There's going to be more and more and more and bigger and more beautiful and more fabulous opportunities, right? So I'm going to have to say goodbye, and we're going to have you both back again. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, Dr. Doug's going to be back in another couple of weeks. He'll be back. I can't even remember when you're back. And Vesna's coming back with another show talking about this very thing, about the surgical opportunities that are coming up. And of course, I'm always here, and I can't stop talking. So I'll be back. So thanks.